Good morning.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Just remember that as long as it's on, it will.
So don't make comments.
Just kidding. You can.
I'm joking.
No, it's okay.
I'm not.
On and then-
And there is no mic. There we go. I didn't know about that part, but I'm going to go like this so you can see my face. Come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. We welcome the certain and the seeking, the laughter for sure, the lifers and the newcomers, the beloved and the broken-hearted, all of whom can find a hope and a home in our community. Throop Unitarian Universalist Church, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena. Welcome to Throop Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Amy Brunel, and I'm a fourth-year seminary student at Star King School for the Ministry and your worship associate today. Whether you are here in the sanctuary or online, we are glad you are here. Today, we have the honor of having Reverend Dr. Megan Visser here with us today. Reverend Megan is a community minister in affiliation with us and the minister at the UU Church of Studio City. Her community ministry includes hospital chaplaincy at St. Joseph's Medical Center in Burbank and spiritual care research at Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. She lives in Eagle Rock with her wife Stephanie, and they are expecting their first child in early fall. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Is it okay? Reverend Megan is pleased to return to the pulpit and embraces Throop's vision of the promises we make to one another and our community and the earth. I know Reverend Megan from Star King, as I've had the pleasure of taking 2 classes with her in the subjects of ethics and justice. So thank you, Reverend Megan, for being with us today. We are truly looking forward to your message. Brief announcements. Please consider letting us know if you have a joy or a sorrow to share. We have a book here and cards for your thoughts, and we would love to hold sacred time together to acknowledge anything that you would like to share with all of us. Also, I'm a little obsessed with name tags. I invite you to wear one and to share your pronouns with us. Lastly, one of the ways we get to deepen our relationship with one another is by the offering and the partaking of learning and engaging in something together. Last week, I offered a little bit of fun considering the topic of the Enneagram. We had a blast. Perhaps you have a knowledge or a talent that you could share with us. Please let Rachel Ryan know if you would like to offer a workshop after services one week. Finally, if you are new to Throop, we would love to stay in touch. You can fill out the info card found in the pew and give it to an usher later in the worship service, or simply leave it on the back table. Each of us is a light unto the world. The flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects this light.
This is titled The Abundance of Our Lives Together. Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with the flame from our candles of hope and witness. And now I will read The Abundance of Our Lives Together by Katie Savani Gelfand. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is the sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop is the unceded land of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Mission Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into dismantling systems of supremacies and oppressions. We light a third candle symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May their waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts. Please rise as your body and spirit allow for our opening hymn, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing, number 126.
Lift our eyes to what may come. sister and engage your neighbor.
Great. Yes.
Just a little bit.
Come thou fount of inspiration, turn our lives to higher ways. Lift our gloom and desperation, show the promise of this day. Help us find ourselves in union, love our hands, tell of our love. With our aid, O fount of justice, earth be fair as heaven above. With our aid, O fount of justice, earth be fair as heaven above.
I love that song. Does anybody love that like I love that? I love that. So fun. Please join me in reciting the Throop promise to our planet found the planet? The planet? The planet. The planet. Yeah. Thanks, gang. Found in your orders of worship. As members of the family of living beings on earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and of the planet itself.
The words to our responsive reading are by Andrea Gibson. And the congregational response is, we must seek out wonder and seize it for ourselves. Can we try that together? We must seek out wonder and seize it for ourselves. Jenny says when people ask if she's out of the woods, she tells them she'll never be out of the woods. Says there is something lovely about the woods. We must seek out wonder and seize it for ourselves. I know how to build a survival shelter from fallen tree branches, packed mud, and pulled moss. We must seek out wonder and seize it for ourselves. I could survive forever on death alone. Wasn't it death that taught me to stop measuring my lifespan by length, but by width? Do you know how many beautiful things can be seen in a single second? How you can blow up a second like a balloon and fit infinity inside of it. We must seek out wonder and seize it for ourselves.
All right, so it is time for our lesson, or time for all ages, and so I invite all those young or young at heart, or people who have been savoring the summer with a sweet treat, to come forward and join me near the stairs. Thank you for saying yes, for coming forward. And those in the back, you have loud voices, right? Yes? Okay, so we're gonna need them in just a few minutes. Great, or seconds, not minutes. So, hello, welcome. So, summer is here, and one of the things when I think about savoring in this season is a sweet treat. For me and my spouse, this looks like an ice cream sundae. Anybody else? Ice cream sundae? Frozen yogurt, your gluten-free oat milk stuff. The most important thing is that it has toppings on it, in my opinion. Correct? Because it's not a sundae without toppings. Whipped cream. Brown, okay. At the bottom, all right, we're gonna get to that. I'm gonna need hot fudge. Caramel, okay. Peanut butter swirl, but it has to be not just peanut butter, it has to be like mixed with the butter and warm before it goes on. You know, very specific. Okay, so how do you start your ice cream sundae? Do you, I need a volunteer for this, come from the toppings down? Yes, that's me. We've got a toppings down, thank you. Amy, I'm gonna need you to, if you don't mind, stand up here in just a moment. I don't think you mind. Though we've only been on Zoom for the most part, so I don't know if you're standing, sitting, what's going on. And who among you mixes it all up? We've got to mix, okay, see? There's always one person who will mix it up. No judgment, though. Mix it up, okay. Yes, that tracks as well for the dog. So out here, we're going to need to hear your cheers. You're going to have to make a decision. Do you mix it all up, or do you eat it from the toppings down? And whoever cheers the loudest is going to be our winner. I don't have a prize. I don't have an ice cream sundae. They wouldn't let me have that in the sanctuary. Good, with reason. Thank you, Rachel. From bottom to top. Okay. Okay, we'll see. Let's see how we do in the cheers here. And then because you have the brownie on the bottom. So you need to get it into the top first bites. Right? Is that what you're thinking? With the brownie? Okay. You're definitely gonna have an answer to the second question. So I'm going to need to hear really loud cheers, especially from those in the back. Who is in favor of from the toppings down? Yes. And what about mixing it all up? Oh, all right. A small but mighty and loud crowd for Mix It All Up. And I think we should add yours in. I really do. Do you mind representing it? And for From the Bottom Up, making those perfect bites. Yes. Okay, you've got some pull. And then the other question I want to ask is, okay, what about the last bite of the sundae? And I will tell you, I polled our congregation in Studio City in the newsletter twice because that was the important business that I needed to address in the church newsletter. And 50% so far say that they actually let it melt and it's a sludgy mess at the end of the sundae, and that is their last perfect bite. And I was appalled. You let it melt? Isn't that the point? That you need to move quick with a sundae, especially in the summer, especially in Los Angeles. More melty, the better. Okay, other last first bites. Other people said, my wife was like, no, you have your favorite flavor, you leave a little bit of that till the end, but it's not melted because that is an abomination, and you eat that last flavor on its own. I want some of the toppings, so I'll save toppings on the rim of the sundae cup and then mix it up. Anybody else have a strategy here? Yes. Save the cherry for last. One of my members said they put a second cherry at the bottom, a little surprise, as if they don't know it's there. They're just like, oh, I have a new cherry. And then the brownie at the bottom also seems like a brownie surprise. Friendly's ice cream, if everyone had that was the Reese's Pieces at the bottom. And then if you didn't get one, you were like, well, this waitress is not getting a tip if there's no special surprise of Reese's Pieces at the bottom. What else? I heard other ideas. And you mix it into the melty sludge. Okay. All right. Morgan, what do? You drink it. So do you have a spoon that is also a straw? Anybody have one of those? Or you use both utensils? Yes. Scrape and drink. So lifting the bowl. Okay. This is great. I have so many. I'm starving now, and I have so many ideas. Yes, over here. Oh, yes, that is a marriage killer right there. If you want your spouse's sundae more than the one that you got yourself. Yeah, just wants one bite, right, exactly. Yeah. Wait, you add milk to it. Does that change the flavor in it? Wow. So it's sort of a cereal sundae combination experience.
Okay, I think next week we definitely have to do Sunday bar, Rachel.
Oh God, I've now committed you to. All right, I'll come back for that. Well, I know that it is time to sing our children out and sing you back to your seats, but I hope that you will savor the summer in whatever way makes sense to you. It doesn't seem like there's a wrong way or a right way to savor this summer treat. Well, I think there is, but you have your own right way, and that is the message for this morning. For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. Blessed be.
Before I start, am I on? I'm on? Okay. before I start the offering, let's just take a moment to breathe in some gratitude. Let's breathe in some gratitude for each other and for this incredible building and for this community. Reverend Megan making us laugh and enjoy and remember joy. This church is our church, and we support it through our gifts of time, our gifts of talent, and our gifts of treasure. You can give online. The directions are in the order of worship, or place your gift in the offering plate. If you are a first-time visitor, please let the offering plate pass you by. Thank you for supporting our life together. The offering will now be gratefully received.
We are not our own, earth forms us, human leaves on nature's growing vine, fruit of many generations, seeds of life divine. We are not alone, earth names of past and present peoples, near and far, family and friends and strangers, show us who we are. Therefore let us make thanksgiving, and with justice willing and aware, give to earth and all things living liturgies of care. Let us be a house of welcome, living stone upholding living stone, gladly showing all our neighbors we are not our own. We are not our own.
In a spirit of gratitude, we lift up our thanks to those supporting our worship service today. Who's doing our live stream? Steve. Steve is doing our live stream, and Taryn, my person to help me and guide me through being a worship associate, and our lay reader. Faith with the children's program, our greeters, Tom, and I don't know who's with Tom today, but thank you. But Tom also does our coffee. Thank you, Tom. Tom, do we thank you enough for that coffee? That is so cool. Malcolm and the choir. Jessica, thank you. Thank you, Jessica, for administrative support. It's amazing. And of course, Reverend Tara and Reverend Nick for their guidance and care. And thank you to all of you who support all the little things that I don't know if we thank you enough. Jen, I'm seeing you, and the baking you do is just amazing. And the gardening that y'all do, and all the things, and the Maggie support. It's a great, great congregation. As we pause in recognition for all the ways we support our Throop community life, say with me with these words in the order of service. With gratitude for the ministries of this church that hold us and embolden us to love the world. We bless our offering and the many gifts we share.
Congregation, would you turn in your teal hymnals to number 1053 and join us?
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
How about now? If there's a hymn that has been a life force that's been fermenting in my Unitarian Universalism since I became a UU at 10, that hymn would be it. Fermentation does not do rush orders. Whether in soil or sourdough or sauerkraut or yogurt, it depends upon an unseen life force that's transforming, and that's not us, in the sense that we could control it. The action is beneath the surface of things. We can build a community, we can make it a place, a sanctuary, but we cannot change the world on our own. We can nurture, add compost as the ground gets depleted, build back some kind of support, and we can resource in the body. Notice for a moment your own body's place upon the ground. Can you connect to what's beneath you? Be present with what's holding you up on the earth in just one more way. Bridge the gap between your thoughts and emotions and what's not all you, but active. And inside your own body, is there a movement or sensation, a bubble, a flurry of activity? a slowing down or speeding up. Something you did not make happen, but is a part of you, your unique aliveness. Does it have a texture or a mood? Does it have a message? So it had been a while that Stephanie and I were thinking about having a baby that I started as a chaplain at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. And I thought, great, I'm gonna work with kids, this will be great, practice. And I'm starting the new position and we're working on the science to have the baby. And one thing to know about being a chaplain is that if you're in a larger department, you will probably not get to pick the floors that you are sent to. You go where they need a person, where they need coverage, where you are needed, and that part feels good. I didn't think much of it. I had worked as a chaplain in 3 different hospitals, but none of them pediatrics. I thought, I'll have something to offer and I'll get to learn something new. Sure. And again, after work at home, we're figuring out the plan for the science, making space for this baby in our lives. One baby. One baby. I think God, spirit of life and mystery beyond my understanding, we really want to have a child, to be parents. Let's make this happen. And then I get my assignment at the hospital, which says the neonatal intensive care unit. And I thought, oh, Something has been lost in translation here. I don't believe, and many Unitarian Universalists don't believe in that notion of God where it's a transactional God in which we ask for something to enter our lives, and if we're good, if we're faithful, if we believe that we get it in this one-on-one way. But holding the assignment information in my hands, which had become a little shaky, I could only whisper, hey, God, asked for one baby, you sent me 50. This is not even an Octomom situation, God. This is hallways of babies. Room after room, 50 babies at a time, hundreds over the course of a year. What's the thinking here, dude? What does this mean? The Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, or NICU, at Children's Hospital is a level 4 center for the care of newborns who are critically ill or arrive among us very early. We're level 4 because of the depth of services and expertise that they offer. The more serious a child's case, the higher the level of NICU needed to access all the subspecialties, a 24-hour neonatologist, and where every patient room can be suddenly converted in this choreographed transition to an operating room. And what we also have, and this is where I focus my energy as a chaplain, is a psychosocial team to help families through the acute stress of having a newborn in the hospital for an extended period of time, sometimes months. All of those things you don't think you're going to need, but are essential support. Some parents were able to basically move in with their baby into a shared room, while others had children at home, or the parental leave had run out or never existed. Some birthing parents remained hospitalized at their delivery hospital for a time, with other families having to split their time between the two facilities that don't feel like home, except for the beings in them. I've known patient families to describe this unit as both jail and a miracle in the same sentence. As a chaplain in this space, my job was to hold space for fragile life in the threshold of this highly complex product of modern science and technology. Technology that would sustain life, that might sustain life, but could not eliminate inequality, barriers to care, or provide long-term support in equitable ways. So much was left on the fragile shoulders of our parents and caregivers. Even if they had a solid village around them, it was not created with this plan in mind. When their babies were receiving advanced treatment, we were resisting in quiet ways the deeply hierarchical medical system, the contradictions of technological mastery to diagnose, and the total absence of guarantees for progress. As a person of faith in a tradition where so much is shaped by the promises we make to one another, the hopes we have for ourselves and for one another in living those covenants, the NICU was a place where we intentionally don't make promises, where there is no map for what's coming. As a person of a faith, in a faith tradition where so much is shaped by how we make meaning together, how we weave worthiness and affirm life, how we laugh and talk about ice cream and mortality in the same day. The NICU is a place of being present with body systems, identities, and worldviews as they unravel. So when I pleaded for one baby and I got 50, asking what does this mean might have been just as silly as the first plea to know, to be certain, to wed myself to an outcome, to a linear line of progress, to asking for a promise. Working in a NICU touched other parts of faith, other kinds of caregiving that were only available after dissolving meaning and outcomes coalesced in radical tenderness. Savoring, composting, fermenting. Vanessa Machado de Oliveira and the Gesturing Toward Colonial Futures, Decolonial Futures collective defines this as a part of sensefulness. She says grounding the security of being in articulated meaning prevents us from experiencing this sensefulness and being grounded in it, a way of experiencing ourselves as an extension of a plural, relatively unknowable, always unfolding, bio-intelligent world We've inherited a world that legitimizes only what makes sense, what we can only understand by a chain of words. And as a result, a whole world of unsayable possibilities are dismissed as meaningless. There were so many moments in the NICU that could be articulated as failures of medicine, as only death, that contained parts of existence that were viable and awake, unthinkable or unimaginable within the machinery of medical science, and crying out to be released from the rigid reward system of modern life. With 50 babies on my list in the morning, it was tempting to be wrapped up in being productive in visits with families. Even I could find myself, when my self-care was low, becoming frustrated when I missed out on multiple visits with a mom because she was sleeping. Easy to be wrapped up in the machinery of this professional identity and overlook the savoring of rest right before me. De Oliveira and her collective wrote a text as a practice to activate radical tenderness. Accept its invitation to be present. Tune in with the collective body, both human and non-human. Take notice of all the skins and places we inhabit, the bones and lands that bear our weight. Feel your entanglement with everything, including the ugly, the broken, and the messed up. Make space for the unknown and the knowable, the unknowable, in ourselves and others. Allow your state of wonder to stay open without always trapping it into meaning. Don't always be held hostage to knowing. Listen to non-human authorities and care about our relationships with them. Be open to what you can't and may never understand. Don't cast upon everything a blanket of interpretation. Silence the noises, preventing you from digging deeper and relating wider. A few months after I'd started working at Children's Hospital in NICU, reports of attacks on children's hospitals in Gaza and the effect on the ICU beds there filled the news. I had such limited bandwidth with on-call shifts and weekend shifts. Reading the news brought on a profound helplessness. Sometimes walking the hallways of the unit could bring on that same overwhelming feeling. As a preacher, there's an obvious temptation, an illusion of needing to make some meaning of all of this, a noise preventing me from relating wider, of opening up to those unsayable possibilities. There were obvious connections and distinct differences between our safety net NICU in Los Angeles and the Gazan NICUs. I experienced, as I imagine many have, a conditioned tendency to rework these comparisons in this closed loop of facts and thoughts and Instagram and news media, to avoid feeling all of it at once, to protect my heart from either, to stay in control. Even if we are sympathetic to the suffering near and far from us, we cannot control our way into being an agent of change. This colonial entitlement to control is what caused so much destruction, after all. De Oliveira continued, collectivize your heart so that it breaks open and not apart. Let it hold all the pain of and in the world without being numbed or overwhelmed. Mourn your illusions, compost your shit, ferment yourself. These are not simple shifts from individualism, reason, and meaning-making. Andrea Gibson, whose words we heard in the responsive reading, died on July 14th. They wrote often of being broken open and not apart, and of coming out and out and out forever. They shared something about this radical tenderness in what we read together. There is something lovely about the woods. I know how to build a survival shelter from fallen tree branches, packed mud, and pulled moss. Surrounded by blankets of suffering, if we don't shut down or try to make meaning of it all for meaning-making's sake, could we instead take responsibility for our resourcing? Branches, mud, moss. collaborating with what human hands did not create to build a survival shelter. Our congregational response to Gibson Throop's response of the month, I believe, is in an active voice, engagement with wonder, not simply receiving the gift. Say it with me again. We must seek out wonder and seize it for ourselves. We must seek out wonder and seize it for ourselves. We are invited to measure our lives in width. If your last bite of ice cream is a melty sludge, a balance of topping and ice cream, or just that last single flavor is your favorite, you have practiced savoring, seeking out wonder, by beginning to be present to something that will not last, that will end, but is full of sweetness, each spoonful along the way. The ice cream's time with us is not what we judge, but the quality of the savoring. Of course, some of us will still want a second bowl. Savoring, composting, and fermenting. How do we metabolize what we're witnessing in a way that is awake and collaborative? Oliveira suggests, I'm going to use a curse word again, a shit composting party, where we participate in the transformation of what destructive patterns must die within us. I know I don't have to tell the Throop community members about the biointelligence in the soil amongst the microorganisms and insects life below the surface of our learning garden. I know that we don't have control over it. We don't have control over, compost and soil. Leaving the NICU a year ago, wanting to make sense, to fit neatly into my narrative about science and caregiving, despair and hope, I can't share the individual stories, not just because it wouldn't be appropriate to do so, but also because each one, terrible and beautiful, are not separable from the others. What I can share is that there were crucial moments in which the rules were suspended. Something was permitted to happen which did not compute with a medical solution to fix. A parent breaking the system and forging their self-determination. A disposition of humility and honesty and self-awareness winning the day, grabbing the sweetness of life. And while on some days we left our shifts still heartbroken or grieving, a feeling of I want more of this rose up. Could this be a layer of organic material breaking down in the presence of more oxygen? Not yet cured, but enriched enough to keep going. What if we think of composting as preparing the ground for the people that are coming to their senses? A process that we only start, but are optimistic enough to trust, knowing that this will only work to grow new plants if there's mycelium in the soil and organic life to bridge those roots and give them the chemicals that they need. What if church is our composting party? A chance to confront and relinquish the desire for certainty, where we are all willing to savor, to dwell in presence, and to be reconnected with these living cycles of human and non-human life. Can we borrow courage from our Unitarian Universalist values, savoring, composting, fermenting, practices of presence, and new ways of being? I hear it in the words of our closing hymn, which we will sing together in Spanish, Busca el Amor. Your heart's a chameleon, ever open to change like any flower, spreading out for the sun, petals bursting with power, to be love that's reaching someone else. Let us rise as bodies and spirit allow to sing together hymn number 1004 in the Teal Hymnal, Busca el Amor.
We're going to sing verse 1, and we're going to sing the chorus in Spanish. And we're going to come back and sing verse 2 and the chorus in English, just so we're not a little lost.
Para hallar el amor en un rincón, pero busca el
compasión, el amor, lo que hace al otro bien.
Please take a hand or a shoulder of someone near you. The flames from our chalice and our candles are extinguished. Their light lives on in each of us. The flames binding our community as they empower us to reach toward justice. Go live into yourself, and by doing so, inspire others to do the same.
Hold me, rock me, calm and easy. Hold me, rock me, deep and wide. Hold me, rock me in your arms, so I got a home on the other side. Hold me, rock me, calm and easy. Hold me, rock me, deep and wide. Hold me, rock me in your arms, so I got a home on the other side. Someday you're gonna cross that river. Someday you're gonna set out on my own. Don't know where my journey leads, but I'll keep on rocking till I get me home. Yes, hold me, rock me, calm and easy. Hold me, rock me, deep and wide. Hold me, rock me in your arms, so I got a home on the other side.